A Facebook post from a friend interrupted my workday. It suggested typing in hashtag #MeToo and posting it if I'd been the victim of sexual harassment or sexual abuse. Hashtag not me, I thought quickly, and closed the browser window and got back to work. But a few short seconds later, I stopped cold and took a deep breath. I realized in one jarring moment that for the better part of the last few decades, I'd been carrying a secret. I'd been hiding in a secret to hide the humiliation. It was 1972, I think, or maybe it was 1973. I can't quite remember. I'm enveloped by a thick, paralytic fog of shame. I was 12 or 13 when my uncle violated me. I was a little girl on the tender edge of growing up. I just started to babysit, but I was still under the spell of my box of 72 Crayola crayons, my macrame projects, and my Nancy Drew books. I was raised with a sweet tooth for speed and cold water. I loved swimming in deep, frigid Northern Ontario lakes, and I loved skiing, water skiing, and biking fast. My uncle was only 15 years my senior, but in one utterly unexpected, terrifying, power-stripping move, he took my precocious, mischievous, high-energy tomboy self, a little girl in love with every visceral thing, and rendered her terrified, anxious, and feeling unclean. He stole my first kiss and my whole innocence, turning me into a sneak and a liar. The psoriasis started right after the first abuse. Red patches showing up all over my young, clear skin. My skin multiplying at 7 times its normal rate. And my skin was trying desperately and successfully to build a protective layer, protecting me from what I didn't know. Was it my secret? Was it the truth? I don't really know. But what I do know is the sexual abuse continued for 5 more years. And it wasn't until I was 33, thick in the muck of a dissolving marriage, that I finally shared my ugly secret. For most of my 20s, my teens and 20s, and much of the next several decades, I just spent my time trying to cover up and clear my skin. I believed that clear skin would deliver me a clear, clean heart. I tried to reset my nervous system by running and running and running. Long distance running, marathons and cross country, mile after long distance mile, trying to outrun the anxiety and the shame. I also comforted myself by making things, lost in the colorful world of paper, fabric, pencil crayons. All the while, just trying to fit in, trying to feel pretty. I was still a tomboy, so not really comfortable with makeup or fancy clothes. I comforted myself mostly with my strong body and my pretty thick hair. My hair was my one true beauty foot soldier. It was pretty and thick and reliable. Until it wasn't. It was 2013, I think, or maybe it was 2014. I can't quite remember. There's that thick, paralytic fog of shame again. That numbing humiliation I feel when I perversely equate my body's suffering with betrayal and failure. That was the year my hair began to fall out. Bald spots started to appear and they multiplied. It was terrifying. For the better part of a year, I never told anyone except my husband, not even our kids. My hair follicles overperforming just as my skin had done decades before. my body attacking itself. It was just terrifying. I denied it for as long as I could, but the denial waned, the bald spots grew, and I went into full battle mode. For the better part of a year, I tried everything. I tried cortisone shots in my scalp, custom felt hats, I did energy crystals, and it was expensive, and I was exhausted. I tried all those things, and I thought, okay, if my hair grows back, I'm a success. I must be a good person. If it falls out, I've done something wrong. What could I do better? I must have done something. For a while, I hid behind hats and headbands. They were my friend. Our son was getting married, and it was a beautiful celebration to take place on an open mountainside, and I just knew I couldn't fake it anymore. I had to get a wig. This was hard. I was fighting a lifetime of my own shallow prejudice against thinning hair and the need for wigs, I guess is a sign of weakness. I don't know, but it was time. So I traveled with my sweet, supportive husband to LA, and we arrived at a Tony beauty salon, a wig maker to the stars in Beverly Hills. It was a wholly unexpected holy place. Penny was a handsome Israeli man, the master of his craft. And he reminded me that, I was lucky not to have cancer, that, I was healthy. That did not do the trick. That did not help at all. I'd spent so much time thinking that I could control this, but he shampooed what was left of my hair, and he shaved it off. After about 3 years of my hair falling out, it was thrilling to have it gone. Finally, I felt like it couldn't hurt me. And for the first time in about 3 years, I felt safe on the other side of my vulnerability. Until that Harvey Weinstein-induced #MeToo Facebook post popped up on my computer. And it sent my soul sliding across the surface of my life. All of a sudden, at that moment, I realized the magnitude of the secret I'd been carrying, and it came into focus. It started a really uncomfortable split in my personality between my desire to show up as Kelly with her pretty hair, looking like she used to, and wearing my bald head. I secretly loved my bald head. As I said, my hair couldn't hurt me anymore. I felt pretty, I felt strong, it was clean, it was simple, and I had a good head shape. I was happy about that. And, all of a sudden, I just, I felt this freedom. And bit by bit, things started to loosen up for me. I wore my bald head more and more. I loved my bald head. I slept bald. I wore my bald head hiking on my solo early morning hikes. The cool morning air on my scalp gave me the feeling of that visceral joy I felt as a little girl swimming in those cold Ontario lakes. I wrote a letter to my uncle, confronting him with what he'd done. And I told some of the members of my family what had happened. They'd never known. And for work, I traveled to LA and had a headshot done by a fabulous photographer, some with my beautiful wig and some with my bald head. And a new visual understanding of myself was emerging. I really loved my bare beauty. In about 3 very short months, I was really surprised by my decision to retire my trusted, elegant wig. Happened very fast. My friend, my companion, my cover-up. It was time to take her off. It has not been an all-pleasant journey this past year living without hair. Many days I get up and I say to myself, I have no right leaving the house looking like this. What are you thinking? But for the most part, it's given me a freedom and an ease in my body. And I just find myself smiling more, making eye contact, and, really just feeling like I can share my whole vulnerability with other people. And I realize after, almost 5 decades, I have spent so much time feeling betrayed and sabotaged by my skin and by extension, my hair. And it's really just become a trope for my very existence that I felt like my skin's performance, reflected my sense of self-worth. So it's been really, really wonderful to just embrace the hair regrowth of the month. There is no color. We're in Dalmatian season now. So I feel at peace. I feel strong. I feel powerful. I'm healthy, and I feel beautiful. And my decision not to wear the wig is finally my decision not to cover up, to be myself. It's my daily practice to come out as myself and to take my little girl self by the hand and walk with her, knowing that our colorful beauty is way more than skin deep. Thank you.